The government's National Greening Program continues to gain ground. Let's have the full story from Freddie Abando.
4 years after implemented the National Greening Program, the country's forest cover rose to 7.8 million hectares from 6.8 million in 2014. Environment Secretary Ramon Pae was proud to report before the Appropriations Committee that the Philippines is now ranked 5th in the world in forest gain, second to China in Asia, and first in ASEAN. The Cultural Organization released the report. The Philippines also holds the record of 2 million trees planted in 1 hour. It was recorded in a barangay in one of the Davao provinces.
The FAO report says, Your Honor, that for the first time, the Philippines is now number 5 in the whole world for forest gain. For the past decades, 3 decades, Your Honor, our report is always forest loss. For the first time, we are declared number 5. I think the first is China, number 2 is Australia, number 3 is Chile, number 4 United States, number 5 Philippines. In Asia, Your Honor, we are number 2. Number 1 is China, number 2 Philippines. In Southeast Asia, Your Honor, we are number 1. So, this is the first time that the world recognized forest gain, Your Honor. So, the reason being is that at your back, Your Honor, which says that supposedly in 2014, we should have already planted 900,000 hectares. Our report, Your Honor, is 1,017,017, which is about 13%, a modest positive gain of around 13% above target. But the 2015, Your Honor, which is as of 15 September 2015, is 497,000 hectares. And if you add this to 1,017,017, we are already beyond 1.2. So, sa 2016 ho, mga 30,000 na lang, 300,000 lang po ang kulang namin.
The National Greening Program will cover the planting of 1.5 billion trees in 1.5 million hectares of land all over the country. In the hearing of the budget for the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Pae averred that by the end of the President's term, more than 1.5 million hectares will be planted to all kinds of trees. For 2015, it's targeted to hit close to 1.5 million hectares. Pae averred geotagging has been adopted to ensure there are no ghost trees. Pae said the strategy for the National Greening Program is completely different from what has been implemented in the past and failed. Upland farmers, indigenous groups, NGOs, and people's organizations, and even local government units participate in the program. It covers denuded forests, coastlines, and open dry land on the plains. Trees of all kinds of species, to include fruit-bearing trees, cacao, coffee, and rubber are planted. The National Greening Program is one of the Aquino government's centerpiece program for poverty reduction. To date, it has benefited close to 400,000, generating jobs of almost 2.7 million all over the country.
Ba't tayo may CCT? Sa CCT, namimigay tayo ng pera. Ang kailangan mong ibigay is dalhin mo yung bata sa clinic, para paaralan, yung asawa mo sa clinic, so on and so forth, no? But hindi natin magawa sa NGP. So ang ginawa po namin, kinalikot namin ng konti yung parang paradigm shift sa programa. Ang ginawa po namin is, yung itanim nyo, inyo na. So we made NGP not as environmental project, but a poverty reduction project. So, pag tinignan mo ho yan yung NGP budget ngayon, magmula 2011, more than 55% I think goes to the farmer as either salary, contract, or payment for seedling production or payment for maintenance. So, it is a poverty reduction program. And then, ang tanong ho namin, paano puputulin o susunugin ng farmer yung kanyang tinanim na kanya na? Puputulin talaga niya yun kung hindi kanya. Pero kung tinanim niya kape, kakao, ba't niya puputulin? Doon siya kukuha ng bunga. So that is now the paradigm shift on the NGP, Your Honor.
ACT Party List Congressman Antonio Tino questioned the survival rate of trees planted in some areas in Tarlac and the Ilocos region, and why the Department of Environment has continued the program. Paez said planting has not stopped to prevent desertification, which could also affect food production in these areas and all over the country.
Kung saan, doon tayo dapat magtanim. In fact, Your Honor, if you try to see the reforestation of China, China was able to reforest already close to 250 million hectares of desert, Your Honor. Disyerto po ang tinatamnan nila. If you go to California, disyerto pinatutubuan nila ng kahoy. The more dry it is, the more they try to recover the site, because that is the only way to recover it from desertification. Unless you want to really make a portion of Ilocos in part of Tarlac like Africa, hindi naman talaga po tayo papayag doon.
For the People's Television Network, this is Freddie Abando reporting.